Greetings, pledges. Why don't you look like a model? Well, maybe it's because you don't eat like one. You're chugging ice lattes with whole milk, sprinkling feta on everything, calling it self-love. Meanwhile, she's sipping fennel tea, declining the cheese plate, and waking up with cheekbones. You think it's genetics. She knows it's regulation. Models don't eat dairy, not because they're scared of food, but because they understand signal clarity. Your bloat isn't random. Your cravings aren't a mystery. You're not curvy. You're congested. Let's begin. Why do models avoid dairy like the plague? Because for them, dairy is a liability. It's not food, it's fallout. Bloat, mucus, puff, mood swings, hormonal chaos. You can't walk a runway with a congested jawline. You can't sell Chanel with colon static. Dairy is comfort-coated food. Models live in performance coating. And you're adding whipped cream to your coffee while she's sipping cold-pressed celery and staring at her reflection in silence. Because she's not chasing dopamine, she's regulating frequency. You eat to numb, and she eats to transmit. Models don't eat for pleasure, they eat for placement. They eat for clarity. A model knows that cheese hijacks your appetite. It doesn't satisfy, it stimulates. It ramps up your hunger, triggers cravings, and creates emotional noise around food that never had to be there. She avoids anything that makes her want more instead of less, because appetite is leverage, and she doesn't give hers away lightly. You're adding cheese to make it taste better, and she's taking it off to stay in control. She knows that when you play with cheese, you're not eating for fuel, you're eating for comfort, for chaos, for the crash that comes after, and she's not interested in living in that loop. A model knows that cheese makes her fat, not just because it's calorie dense, but because it's chaos dense. It's not just what the cheese adds, it's what it starts. Cheese doesn't make you full, it makes you want more. It triggers the addiction loop. Casomorphins, opiate compounds formed during digestion, bind to your brain's reward receptors and blur the line between hunger and compulsion. You're not obsessed with cheese because it tastes good, you're chemically hooked. A model understands that weight gain is a loop. You eat too much because you want too much. And you want too much because you're eating the kinds of foods that hijack your appetite. It's not willpower, it's wiring. And she's not willing to lose control of the dial. Models avoid cheese not because they're scared of food, but because they're allergic to confusion. They don't need something that sedates their clarity and inflames their gut just to make broccoli bearable. She eats clean because she thinks clean, and cheese isn't clean. It's chemically manipulative. A model knows that cheese doesn't combine well with anything. Not fruit, not starch, not protein, not even vegetables. It sits, it ferments, it clogs, and it creates guaranteed bloat. And she doesn't tolerate bloat because bloat lasts too long to tolerate. She doesn't know what's coming up, a casting, a shoot, a red carpet, a flight to Milan. She needs to be available to her face, her stomach, her silhouette. Always. Cheese is unpredictable in a profession that demands precision. The fallout isn't worth it. Puff, water retention, inflamed skin, hormonal backlash, all from a decision she made 2 nights ago. It's one thing to be surprised by a meal. It's another to intentionally bloat your body and act confused when your jeans don't fit. She's not afraid of cheese. She's aware of it. And she's not about to gamble her body on a snack that never plays fair. So no, she's not eating the mac and cheese. Not because she's scared of it, but because she's smarter than it. A model is expected to have clear skin, not because it's fair, not because it's easy, but because it's part of the image she's paid to represent. The modeling industry isn't asking if you're happy, healthy, or emotionally fulfilled. It's asking, do you signal youth, vitality, and clean genetics? Acne disrupts that signal, especially the deep hormonal kind that dairy tends to trigger, cystic, inflamed, clustered around the jaw and chin. To the camera, it doesn't matter where it came from. It reads as something's off. And models can't afford to broadcast something's off. Acne is a code. It says your system is congested, your digestion is inflamed, your hormones are confused. It tells the truth about what you've been eating, and the truth isn't always bookable. A model doesn't get praised for trying, she gets booked for delivering the look. So no one cares how she keeps her skin clean, they just expect that she will. And let's talk about what cheese actually is. Fermented, mold-borne, aged in decay. It's a coagulated mass of curdled animal secretion laced with bacteria stored for months in climate-controlled rot. It's not indulgent. It's not comforting. It's rotting matter dressed up with branding. And when you eat it, that decay doesn't just stay in your gut, it moves through your system. It fogs your brain, it scrambles your hunger, it distorts your energy. You're suddenly starving when you weren't, tired when you were fine, reckless, snacky, emotionally off-center. And that's not a coincidence. That's biological confusion. And once you're confused, you're vulnerable. And that's how the binge starts. It's not just calories in the cheese, it's the cascade that comes after. The cheese to craving to crash to shame binge spiral. A model doesn't just avoid cheese to save calories. She avoids it to protect her clarity, physical and emotional. Because when you start your day with rot, don't be surprised when it ends in regret. So the next time you sprinkle mold on your salad or shave rot onto your pasta, don't act confused. That's why your hunger's high. That's why your skin is wrecked. That's why you're underweight but still look pregnant. That's why you can't get the last 2 pounds off, or the water out of your face, or the cravings out of your system. You didn't eat clean, you ate decay. And now your body's reacting exactly how it should. Models know better. Now you do too. Meeting adjourned.